when you age, and obviously when if we have a lot of people that listen who are kind of in that menopause phase where they start to think about, if I'm looking to preserve muscle, if I'm looking to strengthen my bones, it feels like that's a pretty important thing for me in my, again, if my situation here is I'm a female entering menopause, because correct me if I'm wrong, during that phase, energy goes down, you are more at risk for losing bone density, muscle mass. And so it becomes even more important during that phase, right? And so I think that's probably, as for people who are listening, if this is you, thinking about, am I lifting right now? And if not, that's something you probably really want to consider, because as you age, I mean, that risk goes up, and especially as your hormones change, and it also doesn't it. I mean, it helps with blood sugar regulation. This is my own curiosity, asking you this question next, but like, how does it actually help with blood sugar regulation? This is kind of your
Yeah.
area of expertise,
I
right?
mean, so we've talked about this on the podcast before, but it's through a couple things. One is obviously in the very acute sense, when you're engaging in resistance training, your muscles are going to require more glucose. So it's just going to use what's available, right? Depending on the intensity you're operating at, some of it comes from what's stored inside the muscle tissue, and then it also pulls glucose from circulation. Um, the other thing it does is it increases the insulin sensitivity of your muscle cells for a short period of time.
So
So
that's also
after
acute.
exercise for a couple hours, it's
Mm-hmm.
more receptive to insulin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can that become a chronic thing?
Um, if you're exercising every day,
Okay,
yes.
but you would need
And
so you would need
as
to
you
keep that up.
engage in weight loss, that will improve it as well, right?
Okay, gotcha.
But to kind of to go back to your previous comment though, before you kind of ask the specific question, what you're describing is the whole thing about biology is we adapt to the stresses we place on ourselves, or
Mm-hmm.
the lack of stress we place on ourselves, right?
Or
So a
good point.
large
Yeah.
part of what happens in aging and why some people age faster versus others is if you don't stress your body, it's just going to deteriorate, because it's not like I don't need to do this, right? Maintaining muscle mass and bone mass is energetically expensive, right? So if you don't stress your bone tissue, it's not going to maintain the bone density. If you don't stress your muscle tissue, it's not going to maintain the muscle size.